Get yourself comfortable, either in a chair or lying down, or even standing. This meditation we're going to do today involves principally the eyes, but involves the entire body and the mind. Initially a form of meditation in Taoism called turning the light around. This meditation has been adapted for eye work, for improving vision, for relaxing, and for stimulating the pineal gland, a form of meditation of internal gazing. Now, a lot of times when people talk about getting ready to meditate, they'll say, imagine yourself in a forest, in a field of flowers, and nothing is bothering you. Well, if that's the way that I was, I wouldn't need a meditation. So to tell someone who is on the edge of anxiety or over the edge of anxiety just to relax and pretend everything is okay doesn't necessarily cut it. What we do in recovering the way is to work with our own body and our own mind. So we're going to simultaneously work with the body, work with the mind, work with the spirit. This meditation, called looking through, is a form of meditation that will enhance our disposition, will help our eyesight, and will also bring a sense of locating ourselves, locating our body, locating our minds. So what I'd like you to do to start off with is to find a comfortable seat or to lie down. Doing this meditation lying down, excuse me, doing this meditation lying down is fine. The only problem is we might fall asleep, and that's quite all right. We can then pick it up another time. So what we do in recovering the way Qigong is that we first notice what the state of our body is. And what I want you to do is to relax your hands and relax your feet. If the phone is in your hand, see if you can put it down and listen. If you're near the computer screen, close your eyes and just listen. There's nothing needed to watch. Imagine if you could put down everything, including the phone, the computer, the accelerator pedal, the doorknob, and there's a field right in front of us that may be 5 or 6 or 7 inches or 10 inches or a foot in front of us. And that's the field that we look at in books or computer screens or when we're face to face in a situation or we're doing some work. See if you can relax your eyes, relax your brow, relax your shoulders, relax your feet. And what I'd like you to do is to gently close your eyes. Now, when I say close your eyes, what I'd like for you to do is see if you can ever so gently just sense when your eyelashes are beginning to touch. The bottom and top eyelashes are beginning to touch. And notice when the upper and lower eyelids touch each other. There's no need to squinch, no need to press. This is not an object of shutting out all light. And what we might notice is that we usually have a tendency to squinch our eyes shut. So just notice the same way that we might very, very gently touch our upper lip and lower lip. See if you can ever so gently touch the upper lid and the lower lid. You might see a little bit of light coming through. If you're in a sunlit room, you will probably see the redness of the blood in the eyelid coming through, streaming through the light. That's fine. That's all right. At night, we might see a sliver of the light from the crevice in between the upper lid and the lower lid. That is perfectly okay. This may take a little balancing and a little getting used to. But what we're trying to do is find that little soft place where the upper and lower eyelids will approximate each other with no pressure, no additional pressure. At the same time now, imagine not only if you could put down the phone and put down the keyboard and put down the doorknob and relax your fingers, but imagine that you could relax 1 inch right beyond the ends of your fingers. You could relax 1 inch right beyond the ends of your toes. 1 inch in front of your eyes, 1 inch above the top of your head. So when we start to do this, we're going to notice something. And what we're going to notice is we have been tense. We have been tight. This is not a moral failing. This is life. And in modern life, we're in the grip of what is called the sympathetic portion of the autonomic nervous system. That the adrenaline is rushing through the system. And by engaging in a process like this and slowing our breath down and taking a nice deep breath, we may even notice ourselves taking a sigh. Take a nice deep breath in and continue to relax the eyes. Notice that there's a little sliver of light at the same time that there's dark. You know, during the daytime, the stars disappear, but they're always there. We see them at night. And now, watch and see what happens. Notice the little sparks and the little dancing colors and the little speckles and the little blobs of color. Everybody's got them. We all have patterns of light. And just like fingerprints, everybody's is unique. Just notice these colors that you see and notice the shapes. And don't try to make them do anything. Don't try to make them dance. Don't try to make them move. This is noticing. Notice the colors. Notice the shapes. And tune in to the eyes. What can you do to relax your brow? Just take a look inside and sense, is the forehead tight? The gallbladder channel and the stomach channel move through the forehead. the dew channel, the conception vessel. In Oriental medicine, there are acupuncture points at the inner canthus and at the outside part of the ring around the eye. There is a point on either side and a point in top, right in the center of the eyebrow, and right in the center of the bottom of the orbit of the eye socket. Just like in a gun sight, left, right, up, down. And imagine that you could relax your brow. Imagine that you could relax your forehead, that you could relax your jaw. Let those lights just linger in play. Take a nice breath in and exhale. You know, the darkest part of the body that we can see is the pupil. The very darkest part of the body that we can see. Yet, that is where all the light goes all week. Imagine, just imagine, where does all that light go? Haven't we taken in enough? Haven't we maybe even taken in too much? Too much. And what we're going to do is we're going to return that light to the environment. We're like a flashbulb. What we're going to do is take an inhale, big inhale, and when we exhale, like a flashbulb, we're going to return all the excess light that we have accumulated all week right through the pupils. Inhale and exhale. And just notice, what does that feel like? When we exhale and imagine all of the excess light that we've taken in all week long is being returned to the environment. We are starting to generate neurotransmitters like serotonin and oxytocin, and we are starting to relax and enervate and bring additional blood to the optic nerve, to the retina, to the pineal gland, to the cerebral cortex, to the auditory nerve, to the nerves that control the movement of the eyes. They are all bundled together. The cranial nerves are all bundled together. And when we relax one, they can all start to relax in synchrony. Imagine now. You know what it's like when we drive in the snow or we drive in the rain? If we focus on the windshield, we can see all of the dots of the rain and we can see the snow coming up to us. It's almost hypnotic. It's beautiful. I'm sure we've all done that. Turn the wipers off for a moment and watch the rain accumulate. And then we relax our eyes and, well, we turn the wipers on again. And we don't see the dots anymore, but we see into the distance. I like to call these colors and spots and sparkles and waves of color, I like to call them my windshield. And what we're going to do, what I'm going to ask you to do, is to look through the windshield into the distance. Look through the colors. Look through the spots. Look through the sparkles into the distance. And just notice what happens to the eyes when we do that. You may notice a shift. You may notice a palpable shift that would be recognized as both a relaxation and also a shift in awareness and a shift in consciousness. There's a word in meditation which is very often really confusing and misunderstood, and that is emptiness. But the body understands emptiness. Looking through the windshield into the distance and noticing the shift in the relaxation of the eyes. And now we're going to call on the healing power of our own blood, our own circulatory system, to flush the eyes, to flush the retina, to flush the eye socket, the brow. When we get out of the state of alarm, we start to relieve oxidative stress. We start to generate these neurotransmitters, again, like oxytocin, GABA. We reduce the presence of cortisol, very, very important, and shifting from the sympathetic to the parasympathetic portion of the autonomic nervous system. Relax 1 inch beyond the ends of your hands, 1 inch beyond the edge of your eyes, the edge of your brow. Can you notice your ears? Can you relax your ears? The cranial nerves have an efferent and an afferent portion. Efferent is the motor initiation, and afferent is the sensory. We don't usually notice the sensory portion of our ears or the sensory portion of our eyes. But noticing now, in this quieted state, what can we do to further relax our brow? We may even notice that the jaw is tight, and we can take a minute to relax the jaw. Relax the neck. Relax the tailbone. Relax the tongue itself. Looking through the windshield into the distance, take a few moments to notice what it feels like. Flooding our eye socket with healing nutrient, letting the lymphatic system flush the eyes. There are portions of the skin under the eyes that get no blood circulation, relatively speaking, and they oxygenate themselves. The eye oxygenates itself from the environment. Let the body, mind, and spirit go for a minute. And just sit and notice the nothing and how wonderful that feels. Take a minute now. Imagine that you could go all the way out to that distance, all the way out to that infinite. And then you could turn around and watch the watcher, who and what is looking. Can you find the watcher? Now, this is a process called gazing. This is not looking. This is not looking for. This is not focusing. This is not chasing. This is gazing. Very different. And I want you to gaze through the windshield at the watcher. And notice, does something happen in the gut? Does something happen in the heart? Does something happen in the mind as we look for at the watcher? We are stimulating the pineal gland. We are petitioning it to open. This would be what is commensurate with what is called the third eye. The upper dantian in Taoism, yin tang, the crown chakra. Relax the tongue, the jaw, the eyes, getting ourselves out of the state of alarm. A lot of meditation can be accomplished simply on the sensory level of tuning into how tight we are and what we can do to change that. Notice the watcher with breath slowed and some compassion. Can we have compassion for the self? For the watcher that we may not even be able to locate. Looking inward can make a tremendous difference in our lives when the failure to find meaning by looking outward fails. It is a combination of in and out in synchrony that we try to obtain. We're going to bring ourselves back a little bit now, a little bit at a time. Stop watching. And before we come out of this meditation, the work is done. There is no more looking, no more gazing, no more moving, no more thinking. Now is the payoff. Before we open our eyes back up, before we go to our regular day, take a few breaths and see if you can do nothing. And be okay with it for a few breaths. The what is called monkey mind will come back in. We will start to think. We will start to move again. And now we can wiggle our fingers a little bit, open our eyes a little bit, and notice, what does it look like? What does the room look like now? What do the eyes feel like? Do they feel enervated? Do they feel refreshed? How does the body feel? Recovering the way is a form that we have developed, integrating the best of science, 12-step method, Taoism, Qigong, for a seamless approach to health and wellness. Come join us if you liked this today. Please use this meditation again. Share it with others. And we hope to see you at recoveringtheway.com. I'm Dan Weicher. Thank you.